These are the performance evaluation reviews, and we've done these for a few years now. So if you're a tenured team member, this might look familiar to you. If you're new, obviously it doesn't. Either way, I'm going to walk you guys through it because there have been some changes. So I know that this format is a little strange comparatively. Normally, I would give kind of this speech at the beginning of every evaluation review and just kind of walking everyone through it, explaining how we're coming to these calculations and just how it works in general. But I end up repeating myself. We got to go through 30 plus of these. So I just end up being very repetitive. And I thought that this was a better way to get the information out. This way, you guys can review it in advance, make sure that you understand it fully, and that if you have any questions, you're ready to bring them to the actual review. So, this is just a guide. I'm going to walk you through how everything is calculated, what the scores mean, and basically just how all of this works. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. The report itself is broken down into 6 subcategories. Each category has its own scoring and scaling. But the criteria are the same. They're all going to range from outstanding to unsatisfactory. They're all going to have their own total possible score and their own total actual score. They'll also have a description to kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. And they'll have a section for comments where we'll give you a little bit of feedback on how we arrived at the particular score for that section. Now, each section, while it does have its own score, all of those scores are cumulative into one overall score, which is calculated at the bottom. You can see that down here in the scoring and scaling. So the first 3 sections, which are productivity, accuracy, and attendance, these are all calculated at a total possible score of 15. The final 3 categories, which are ownership, accountability, initiative, communication and interpersonal skills, and coachability, these are all weighted at a total possible score of 20. So we weight these categories higher because we truly value these as a company. We would deem these what we call the intangible qualities. So the intangible qualities of our team are things that you can't really track. It's things like ownership and accountability and initiative and coachability and these categories that we've described, but it's really more of a demeanor. It's more of how you conduct yourself professionally. And it's things that we believe really drive the culture and environment here at Remedy. And as such, we do prioritize them a little bit higher. So you get 20 in these categories. Not to say that productivity and accuracy and attendance aren't important, they absolutely are. Um, but those intangible qualities are the things that we believe kind of set us apart in the space, in this industry as a company, and as such, we do value them. So the only other thing that I wanted to touch on before we jump into the individual categories is the scoring system. So traditionally speaking, anything below a 70 is going to be a failing grade. That's not how ours is set up. If you look, for example, here, meeting expectations ranges from 41 to 60%. Traditionally speaking, a 41 is a pretty grim score, but the way that this scale is set up, 41 to 60 it's a great score. Meeting expectations is just that. You are meeting the expectations that we have set for the role that we would have set for anyone in that role. But yeah, I just like to preface that beforehand, just so that everyone's kind of on the same train of thought when you do see the scoring. The first category is productivity. This is a calculation based on performance. So we track productivity utilizing the productivity minutes and the tracking spreadsheets. This is part of the emails that you guys send up, and all of the information that you see on here should be in accord with the feedback that you're getting on a quarterly basis. But what we would deem meeting expectations in productivity is anything between 408 and 467 productivity minutes per day on average. Anything above that is obviously going to move into the commendable and outstanding categories. Anything below that is going to move down into needs improvement or unsatisfactory. But that's basically how productivity works. Obviously, we're going to provide you comments on this to give you the direct feedback. But again, this should be all similar or in line with the information that you've been receiving on a quarterly basis. The next category is accuracy, and accuracy is calculated as meeting expectations to be ranging between 3 and 5% on average. So again, anything below that, you're going to start moving into the commendable and outstanding categories. Anything above that, you're going to be moving into the needs improvement or unsatisfactory category. This again is just derived from audits, feedback that you guys should already be receiving. Shouldn't be anything new here, but that is how we're calculating accuracy. Attendance is a calculation based on the number of occurrences you have had throughout the year. So we would deem an occurrence something along the lines of not being able to communicate or request PTO or time off through the appropriate channels, getting it approved through ISOL, being able to communicate with your manager beforehand, anything like that we would deem as an occurrence. Anything between 0 and 3 occurrences, we would deem meeting expectations. That's among the norm. Anything above that, we're going to start moving into the needs improvement and the unsatisfactory categories. So yeah, just a straightforward calculation there. The next category is ownership, accountability, and initiative. So this is owning mistakes, using them as an opportunity for growth, just really taking ownership of your role, seeing tasks through to completion, voicing your concerns, being adaptable, and really just leaning in on not only how we do something, but why we do it that way. And we just really believe that when our team is able to understand why we're doing a process the way that we're doing it, then they're really able to obtain a better, more well rounded understanding of the revenue cycle as a whole and how all the functionalities interrelate. Communication and interpersonal skills. So, this is communicating with the team, with management, and it's maintaining open and respectful lines of communication. So, we want to be professionals. We want to promote teamwork. We want to show compassion, empathy, and consideration in both written and spoken words. Overall, you want to maintain a positive demeanor, keep an open mind, and be flexible. Coachability is not only being able to receive criticism and feedback, but it's welcoming it. It's being able to use it in a positive light, use it as an opportunity for growth, professional development. It's being able to receive, absorb, and apply direct or indirect guidance from management to your day to day tasks. Okay, so that concludes all of the regular categories. What we have now is a section that we call development review. So in this area, we're just going to highlight some successes and some areas for improvement, just some things that you might be able to work on while being able to celebrate the accomplishments that everyone's had throughout the year. Below that, we have the scoring and scale so that you guys can kind of see how everything is calculated. So basically what you're looking at here is the total possible score of 105. The actual score on this one ended up being a 77.3. That's going to land them at a 74. And you'll see how this lines up in the rating over here. So the scale percentage of a 74 is commendable. Finally, here at the bottom, we just have signatures and acknowledgement. All we're going to ask for you to do is print and sign it. We're going to do the same thing, and we'd like you to return it. You will have the opportunity, as you see, there's an area for you to add comments. If there's anything that you would like officially documented on the record, you have the right to do so here. Take your time doing it. We'll typically give you a couple days to review this, but when you're done, we would just ask that you do sign and email it back to us. Outside of that, that is the performance evaluation review. So obviously, if you have any questions, bring them to us. We can talk about it during your slotted time. If you want to shoot us an email beforehand, feel free. But that is it. I'm sure all of you are going to do excellent because all of you are excellent. And I will talk to you all this week. So thanks so much.